Hello, welcome, and thanks for joining us on this edition of NEWS2. I'm Sandra Mansing. Senators from the Committee on Homeland Security, Justice, and Public Safety met Tuesday on St. Croix to consider a number of bills. One piece of legislation would provide stiffer penalties for assaulting educators. NEWS2's Erica Parsons has that story.
Senate Public Safety Committee Chair Kenneth Gittens wants additional protection for employees of the Department of Education.
We're not to sit back idly and continue to see problems festering and allow it to become something bigger.
Bill 30-164 would amend the VI code by establishing a penalty for assaulting any employee of the department who's performing their duties.
Schools in the past was a safe haven.
Now lawmakers say that's not the case. Senator Gittens cited increased cases of parents or other adults going onto local school campuses and beating up teachers and monitors. No education officials were present to testify, but police officials testified in full support of the bill, although they didn't walk with any statistics. Senators said they support the intent of the bill, but wanted to know how it's different than what's currently on the books.
I'm just trying to understand how it's really going to be a deterrent. I don't want to do a feel-good piece of legislation. I want to do something that will actually have an effect on behaviors. So what are we doing here that is better than what we have now?
Police say it provides stronger punishment. Subsection 297 under Chapter 13 of Title 14 of the VI Code already protects against aggravated assaults, which are misdemeanors. This bill makes the violations assaults in the third degree, which are felonies.
We're saying you come on the school campus in an area that is protected, an area where we're supposed to make sure that our children and everyone there is safe, and you want to commit a crime, you will pay for it.
Senators O'Reilly and Buckley both said stiffer penalties don't always deter crime. O'Reilly said she would only support the bill if students were removed as offenders.
My concern is that when you include a student in a charge now that it becomes a felony, you are giving this person a lifetime employment crushing criminal record.
Erica Parsons, NEWS2.
Senators passed a motion to move the bill forward to the Rules Committee for further consideration. Senator Hansen objected to the motion. Both she and Senator voted no, since the bill needs more work. The Virgin Islands partnership with the state of West Virginia will be the focus of this year's Medicaid Enterprise System Conference. Human Services Commissioner Christopher Finch will discuss the challenges, success, and benefits of the territory's integration into West Virginia's Medicaid Management Information System during a panel discussion on Wednesday at the Medicaid Enterprise System Conference in Charleston, South Carolina.
There's a team from the USVI who will be attending the Medicaid Enterprise Systems Conference this year in Charleston, South Carolina. And this is good news for the Virgin Islands because this is the first time that a team from Department of Human Services Medicaid Division has attended this conference. We're very excited. We'll be presenting in an operations panel along with two other partnerships, Colorado and Idaho, and also Michigan and Illinois.
Well, structures of historical significance in St. Thomas are getting some much needed repairs. A partnership between the government, Department of Planning and Natural Resources, and the St. Thomas Historical Society is paving the way to make that happen. NEWS2's April Knight has details.
In recent years, the historic Fort Christian in St. Thomas has been a sight to behold or maybe pass by. But a recent announcement by the governor says not anymore, or at least not for long.
They impressed upon me the importance of the historical nature of the sites, but also more than that, that the partnership with the government was the best way to move forward.
The Virgin Islands government is partnering with the St. Thomas Historical Trust to restore historic structures in the territory.
Cooperative partnership where we will agree with DPNR on projects to be undertaken on their properties on Hassel Island. We will attempt to raise the funding for them and get the projects accomplished.
Even before the agreement, work has already been done. Some keen observers might notice significant progress on the signature clock atop Fort Christian.
The clock is working. People didn't know why the clock all of a sudden started to work. We did it. But now this day, and hopefully as soon as possible, before the end of the year, I trust, we'll be able to get at least some tourists going through there.
The same goes for Hassel Island, where restoration projects are currently underway and many more are planned for the near future.
We did start work on one out on the point and we secured that building so it wouldn't slide down to the sea. We shored it up and did some work on that.
But we have another project right now underway at the Garrison House. Hopefully in the future we'll be able to go on to Cowles Battery.
So if progress continues, locals and tourists alike might enjoy the restored historic structures on Hassel Island and see these beautiful Fort Christian double doors open to the public very soon. April Knight for News 2.
In other news, police say over the weekend, 2 shootings and a stabbing occurred on the island of St. Thomas. According to police, the incidents were not fatal or related. On September 7th, police were dispatched to the Schneider Regional Medical Center to investigate a gunshot victim. The 21-year-old male was shot in the Paul M. Pearson's Garden housing community. And on September 9th, once again, police spoke to another gunshot victim at the hospital. The 25-year-old victim was shot while walking home to Estate Thomas.
Police are investigating the circumstances surrounding an injured man who was found lying on a sidewalk on Veterans Drive. The man appeared to have been stabbed in the left side of his waist. When the ambulance arrived, the victim refused medical treatment. The victim also did not give any additional information to the police at that time. These 3 cases will be followed up by the Criminal Investigation Bureau detectives.
Meanwhile, police on St. Croix are investigating a robbery that occurred on September 7th. A female told police she was robbed after leaving the ATM at the Sunny Isles First Bank branch. The 47-year-old victim told police she just withdrew money from the ATM, got into a car when an unknown male came up to her car. The suspect told her to give him all her money, which she did. The suspect then fled from the scene in an unknown direction. The victim said she was frightened, so she drove to her home in Lorraine Village Apartments. Well, the Virgin Islands Police Department Insular Investigation Unit advises the St. Croix public to be aware that counterfeit $100 bills are being circulated on the island. Detectives caution you not to accept any $100 bills unless you can verify their authenticity.
There has been an influx of counterfeit $100 bills on the island since September 1st. Counterfeit bills have been received at the casino and at WAPA, the detectives said, adding that all businesses need to be aware that these bills are being passed around. Detectives said the fake bill looks very real and businesses should confirm the authenticity of all $100 bills by using a counterfeit detector machine or pen. If you encounter a counterfeit bill, call police immediately and file a police report. It is against the law to knowingly pass on a counterfeit bill. You can call the Insular Investigation Unit detectives at 340-712-6100, 911, or Crime Stoppers USVI at 1-800-222-TIPS.
September 11th, 2013 has been designated as National Day of Service and Remembrance in the Virgin Islands as well to honor the courage and heroism of the victims of the September 11, 2001 terrorist attacks. The horrific events of September 11th deeply impacted the people of the Virgin Islands. Although the events of 9/11 occurred thousands of miles from the Virgin Islands in New York City, Washington, D.C., and Shanksville, Pennsylvania, Governor John DeYoung said he is pleased to be joining with members of the American Legion District Number 10 on St. Croix Wednesday for a commemoration ceremony and freedom walk. Peace on earth and goodwill to all. A group of residents gathered at the Emancipation Garden on Monday evening to pray and share their thoughts about why they oppose strikes on Syria. Their main point? Responding to violence with violence simply leads to more violence.
As a child of the 60s who, was at anti-war marches, and I'm kind of thinking, oh my God, we're going to go to war, and how come no one's saying anything? So even if it's not a giant, march, too bad it wasn't at, Martin Luther King's 50th anniversary. I mean, kind of ironic what happened to that.
Let's think about the consequences of war, and are there any alternatives to this same scenario we've seen year after year after year? I think the public is, as they say, war weary, and that we're really hungering for a solution.
Meanwhile, there may be a Russian broker deal to avoid a military strike against
to a skeptical American public with a primetime address from the White House tonight. Danielle Nottingham, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
And be sure to tune in here on CBS TV2 at 9 p.m. for President Obama's primetime address from the White House tonight. Again, the primetime address with President Obama will air at 9 p.m. right here on CBS TV2. Well, Florida police responded to a 911 call from the estranged wife of George Zimmerman, the man who killed teenager Trayvon Martin. Police in Florida say George Zimmerman's estranged wife has changed her story, so they will not be filing domestic violence charges against him. Shelley Zimmerman called 911 to report her husband was threatening her with a gun and had punched her father in the nose. Hours later, she said she never saw a gun. Zimmerman's attorney says the fight was a result of the couple's ongoing divorce. Last month, Shelley Zimmerman was sentenced to a year's probation and community service for perjury. She admitted lying about the couple's finances during George Zimmerman's bail hearing. Last week, she filed for divorce. Keeping our eye on the economy, all eyes were on Apple today. The company was expected to announce 2 new models of its iPhone during a major product event in California. The iPhone 5S is expected to have a faster processor and better camera. The company may also announce a cheaper version of the iPhone that could come in many colors and would be made of plastic instead of aluminum. Shares of Apple rallied back above $500, a share ahead of the announcement. This is the New York Stock Exchange with Scotiabank Stock Market Watch. The Dow, Nasdaq, S&P all up. The Dow 127, Nasdaq 22, S&P 12. Coming up on NEWS2, the Public Services Commission and Innovative are making sure that Virgin Islanders are aware of a federally funded program and how you can take advantage of it. Details coming up next. September 9th to the 15th, 2013 is National Lifeline Awareness Week. According to Governor DeYoung, Lifeline is a government program that helps make telephone service more affordable to qualified customers. The Public Services Commission and Innovative are making sure that Virgin Islanders are aware of this federally funded program and how they can take advantage of it.
What people need to know about Lifeline is that it is a program that's designated to take a little bit of money off of your telephone bill. And there are a lot of people in the territory who could use a break off their telephone bill. All you do is you have to sign up under the Human Services blanket, just be a part of the Human Services programs, and you can get money off of your telephone bill. It's just that easy.
So Human Services will qualify, and then they'll send us the information if the customer is eligible to participate. So we don't qualify, but we are one of the companies that actually provides the service. We're trying to get the word out in terms of Lifeline outreach. If you have some type of government assistance, you may be eligible for discounted telephone service, and we're just working with the PSC and Human Services to spread the word.
Well, with many stores worldwide, the long-awaited Walgreens on St. Thomas is set to open its doors on Saturday. The shelves are fully stocked. On Tuesday, employees can be seen making the final preparations. The store features a prescriptions saving club and a Balance Awards card program in which customers can earn points to encourage health and wellness. Now, to celebrate the grand event, a parade is planned at 9:30 a.m. on Saturday. Officials say a small section of the road will be blocked off for about 20 minutes.
I'd love to see thousands of people line the streets. We're actually having a small little parade that's going to come down in between Tire Kingdom and Office Max. It's going to be led by the St. Thomas Majorettes, and then it's going to be the Ivana Eudora Keene High School Marching Band and Color Guard in the middle, and then coming up in the rear is going to be the Inferno Troops, which is going to be absolutely amazing. We'll have vendors here out all day doing product sampling, having free giveaways. Chester Cheetah will be out here for the kids. We'll also have a clown doing face painting and balloon animals. The Rising Stars will be out here about 2 o'clock. There'll be probably 10 or 15 of those to throw down on the drums and make it a really big event for us.
Well, for the first time, the Virgin Islands applied for an Early Childhood Comprehensive Systems Grant, and the Health Resources and Services Administration approved an award of $139,000 a year for the next 3 years. For each of those years, the grant will assist in the development of a comprehensive trauma-informed child and family service system that supports families in their role as nurturers. The Virgin Islands Comprehensive Systems Grant is designed to respond to policy recommendations regarding infant and early childhood mental health outlined by 0 to 3, the National Center for Infants, Toddlers, and Families. Well, some sad news to report. The legendary Mighty Sparrow slinger Francisco is currently in a comatose condition at a hospital in New York City. Francisco's wife, Margaret, confirmed weekend reports, according to CaribbeanNews.com and other online media, that claimed that Sparrow was hospitalized in serious condition. Last Thursday, Sparrow, the king of soca and cultural ambassador to Trinidad and Tobago, received a Lifetime Achievement Award through his son, Richard Francisco, at the Consulate General of Trinidad and Tobago in New York. Sparrow was due to receive his award at the Consulate General's 51st anniversary of independence ceremony on August 30th, but made arrangements for his son to collect the award this week as he was unable to attend the event. We will keep you updated on Sparrow's condition. Governor John P. DeYoung Jr. has designated this month as the National Preparedness Month in the Virgin Islands. It serves as a reminder of the importance of being prepared for any emergency. The Virgin Islands Territorial Emergency Management Agency, the Federal Emergency Management Agency's Ready Campaign, Citizen Corps, and other federal, state, local, tribal, territorial, private, and volunteer agencies are working to increase public activities and to educate individuals on how to take action for any type of emergency that could befall the territory, including natural disasters and potential terrorist attacks. Every year, the President of the United States issues a proclamation declaring September as National Preparedness Month. And speaking of which, stick around. Your News2 AccuWeather forecast is coming up next.